The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.
Side he does, McCaffrey leaps, touchdown!
And we are going to the NFC Championship game.
Taken down, Ryan Burns in trouble, flicks it out of the backfield, picked off Pigley, touchdown!
Over the middle, interception.
Peppers coming back the other way.
Leaping grab, Moore, touchdown!
Hello everyone and welcome inside the Panthers Huddle powered by AWS. I'm your host Kristen Balboni and we've got a great show lined up for you today. Head coach Matt Rule and Panthers legend Thomas Davis will be joining us in studio, and later new Charlottean and first-year Panther Bradley Bozemans is already finding ways to serve the youth in the local community. After the pomp and circumstance surrounding the opening week of the NFL season, Carolina was back on the practice field this week prepping for the New York Giants. Panthers quarterback Baker Mayfield might not have gotten the storybook ending against his old team, the Browns, but he isn't discouraged. He knows it's about the team doing their jobs, fixing the mistakes, and getting ready for a good Giants team.
The response has been exactly what we want. Everybody's been extremely critical of themselves. Leaders have put ownership on themselves, and also at the same time, guys aren't losing their heads. They're realizing that just go to work. There's another day, play the next play, and come into work, fix the mistakes, and let's go get it. Practiced against the Giants last year, played against them the year before, so some of the familiar faces, they just play really hard. Do they try and scheme you up with pressures and everything with their front seven and give you different looks? Absolutely. They make it tough on you in preparation, but when it comes down to it, they're going to do what they do, try and heat you up and get you to make mistakes.
There's nothing quite like opening up the NFL season at home. The solidarity of a whole city behind you, the roar of anticipation, and the palpable energy of fans who have waited a whole offseason for this moment. And coming into week one, the storylines practically wrote themselves. Let's take a look back at our Week 1 matchup with the Browns in this week's Bojangles Rewind.
Rain, bad weather in the forecast, but the sun peeking through. Almost pristine conditions for the season opener between the Carolina Panthers and the Cleveland Browns.
Hey, that's gonna be relentless, dog.
That's all it is.
Relentless effort, bro. Relentless playmaking, bro. Relentless everything, dog. That's what this group made of, dog.
Our first test together. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win.
A roar of anticipation at Bank of America Stadium. These fans excited for the start of a new season. Just a gorgeous day here in Uptown Charlotte. Cade York tees it up for the Browns, sends it in the air. Mayfield's first pass is tipped, and it falls incomplete. Drop the snap. Mayfield recovers. 2 drives, and Carolina with nothing to show for it. Snap, 4-man twist. Brissett throws. It's tipped. Defense holds again. Mayfield in the shotgun. Pressure coming. It's a sack back inside the 15-yard line. Some of these fans expressing their frustration early. Goal line set. Chubb is the deep back. The snap. Brissett. Play action. Wide open to the end zone to Kareem Hunt. And Cleveland is on the board first. Offensively so far, not much. 18 yards of total offense.
Need a deep breath. It's very simple. We need a deep breath. I think we're overthinking things.
They give us to Hunt. Up the gut. Breaks free. Into the secondary. 10-5. Touchdown Cleveland. The second of the day for Kareem Hunt. Carolina will hope to get its offense on track. They've been stuck in quicksand. Mayfield down the seam to Ian Thomas. 20, 15, 10, stiff arm, taken down.
So fired up. We haven't had anything to cheer about. Baker down the seam, hit him on the run.
Mayfield under center. The snap. McCaffrey catapults into the end zone. Welcome back, Christian McCaffrey.
He's not going to get stopped going in there. That drive dictates and shows what we're capable of.
Cleveland 20, Carolina 7. Mayfield in the gun, 2 receivers to his left. Low snap, ball on the ground. McCaffrey picks it up, and he's off to the races. 45-40 in Cleveland. Christian McCaffrey, pure alchemy by number 22.
Baker drops the ball, fumbles it. Christian picks it up and goes. Just get him the ball any way we can and let him be him.
Carolina moving the ball. They'll give it to McCaffrey. And like a jigsaw puzzle, makes his way inside the 25-yard line. It's a first down. Takes the snap. Mayfield steps up. He's got a lane. Touchdown! Baker Mayfield, who fires the ball against the back wall. Hey now! Crowd roaring and on its feet. 23-14. Do the Panthers have a comeback in their bones? Buys time. Deep downfield. Anderson wide open. 25-20. 10-5. Touchdown! Carolina! 23-21.
How fast was that?
Oh, that happened quickly. It escalated quickly. Anderson and Moore split wide. Smith slot left. Mayfield, the screen. McCaffrey's got room. He's got the 40. 35-30.
That's a horse collar.
You're right, it was a horse collar. Flags after the play. The Panthers are in business. Eddie Pinheiro.
It's exciting.
34-yarder. The snap, the hold, the kick. It's up. And it's good! Eddie Pinheiro pumps his fist. The Panthers lead for the first time. It's 24-23 with 1:13 to go. Cleveland can still win this with a field goal, and we have seen how strong Cade York's leg is. 1st and 10 from the 25. Browns work right to left. Brissett, the snap, the throw, going nowhere, and Shaq Thompson with a late hit. But there's a flag as well in the backfield. That's on Brian Burns. Oh, no. It's a terrible call.
It is. I get it.
So here comes the field goal team. Cade York has hit 3 today. A 58-yarder. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. And it's good. Cade York from 58 yards. The Browns pull out a win. It was almost the perfect ending for Baker Mayfield.
There's 8 division winners, am I correct? 4 out of the 8 last year lost week 1. So I'm always going to try to look for a silver lining.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers. Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, helping you enjoy the sights and sounds of the NFL all season long.
Welcome back to the Huddle. I am joined now by Panthers head coach Matt Rhule. Coach, you said earlier this week that the Monday after the first game of the season is one of the most important days across the NFL because you have a chance to watch the tape as a team, learn what you want to correct. So what did you and this team take from that Monday film session?
You know, I hope every person took a little something different from it. I think the biggest thing we took as a team was, you know, that even though we didn't play our best football, we have the competitive spirit, we have enough good players, we have the ability to come back and take the lead and have a chance to win the game. And so as we move forward, I think all of us are pretty determined to make sure that we just get off to a better start, knowing that if we do that, we give ourselves a way better position in the end of the game.
The way you finished the game, what specifically really stood out to you and what heartened you and encouraged you?
Yeah, I think, you know, with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, you know, we took the football, made a couple plays, hit Ian Thomas on a big play, went down and scored a touchdown. And except for, you know, like the final play of the game, I think we were, you know, scored on 4 of the next 5 drives. And that's really who we want to be. We have explosive playmakers. They were having fun out there. They were playing in rhythm. All the little things that hurt us early on, the drop snaps, penalties, whatever it may have been, those kind of went away. We got into a rhythm. And so it's hard to get yourself into a rhythm. We have to earn it. And I think our guys know, hey, this is what we're capable of. We just have to make sure we do it all the time.
And how do correcting those little things manifest itself the week before as you now prepare to go to the Giants? Is that something that you work on in practice? Is that something that as professionals you feel confident that whether it's the snaps or the penalties will correct themselves?
I think a lot of it with a young team and young players comes down to confidence. Mm-hmm. I mean, we had some guys, you know, some veteran players like Henry Anderson. He's been here for about a week, gets in the game, and he plays with tremendous confidence because he's been there and done that. It's my job as the head coach. It's the job of our veteran players to make sure our young guys know that, you know, they're here for a reason. They're good players, and they can't wait. They have to go attack.
Looking ahead to this week, unfortunately, Andre Roberts put on injured reserve. Who should we expect to see at kick return, punt return? How confident are you in the guys behind him?
Well, Shai will handle the punt return duties, and it was great that we got him a lot of reps this training camp. You know, Shai's one of our young bright stars, and so we're excited to see him go back there and do that. And while he can also return kicks, we'll put Chuba back there first. Big, fast, powerful back. He'll hit the hole, and so those guys will take those roles, and I think do them really well.
And then offensively, it was great to see Saquon Barkley come back in week 1 and have such a big game. What kind of challenges does he present to your defense?
Yeah, he had 238, I think, actually, yards rushing. Had a 68-yarder. He had a 33-yarder that got fumbled forward about another 20 yards. Saquon's one of the best backs in the game, and so he's playing well. He's healthy. It's really important for us that we tackle better than we did last week. It's really important for us that while they will run the football, we can't give up the explosive passing play. We can't give up the 30, 40, 50-yard chunk that flips the field. We just have to, play each play, one play at a time, try to win each rep, make sure that we tackle well and play together.
All right, Coach, I'm going to take 238. I'm going to take your word for it. I know that you know, and we'll definitely check on that. Thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
In this week's Co-Community Spotlight, Panthers center Bradley Bozemans and his wife Nikki kicked off their inaugural Sync Snack Box program.
So this is our kickoff event for the Bradley and Nikki Bozemans Foundation. We started doing Sync Snack boxes. So these 6x6 boxes go in the back of squad cars, and they get into the kind of harder hit communities, and they distribute these to the local kids in the community.
Yes, thank you for coming. Very good turnout, especially for our first event. Yep, so many. Since we've gotten to Charlotte, Charlotte has been nothing but generous. It took us essentially 4 months to get this program off the ground in Charlotte, which is unheard of.
I'm glad that y'all love Charlotte.
Yes,
I'm so excited.
We do. So many people that volunteered so quickly.
This has been such an amazing day. We have all the fans. We have everyone from coaching staff to players. Just everyone across the board in Charlotte. I think everyone here wants to make a difference. So it's just been so special to see that.
Welcome back to the Huddle. I am joined by Panthers legend Thomas Davis. TD, let's talk about week 2 against the Giants, and let's talk a little bit about, let's build on what we talked about before last week's home opener against the Browns. It was a big comeback. Of course, the Panthers fell short, not the result that they wanted. But let's start with the offense. What did you see from this offense, and where do they need to continue to make the next step?
I saw some really good things from this offense in the second half of this football game. But one of the things we have to do as a football team, we got to do a much better job, KB, of starting out fast. We got to figure out ways to get Christian McCaffrey the ball more. We know that he's a dynamic player. He's an absolute game changer. So that's one of the things that we got to do. And we know that teams are going to come out. They're going to have game plans for him. So we got to figure out a way that we can game plan better than them. Whatever we got to do to make sure that he touches the ball at minimum 18 times a game, we have to do that because he's a player that can absolutely take us to that next level, but not if we don't get him the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask you about Ikem Ekwonu. We talked about that matchup that he had against Myles Garrett. It was his first start as a rookie over there at left tackle. What did you see from him? What do you want to see from him in week 2 as he continues to grow?
I saw some really good things from Icky in this game, but what he has to do, he has to understand who he's going against and what they like to do. When you're playing a guy like Myles Garrett, like we talked about last week on the show, he's going to offer a different variety of ways that he can possibly beat you. And, we saw that show up a few times in the game, but what Icky can do, he can learn from this film, he can move on, and he can be more prepared for the next game. And I've seen the competitive nature in this kid. I absolutely love the fact that he's a part of this team. He's a part of this community. He grew up here, so one of the things that I'm more passionate and more excited about is the fact that he's always eager to learn. He's always eager to get better. He's always asking questions. And I know he's going to be better from game 1 to game 2 and game 2 to game 3. And that's what you expect when you draft a rookie as high as we drafted Icky.
And we've seen those defenders really step up in the past and help Icky, so I'm sure we'll see much more of that as the season goes along and continue to see his growth, which I'm very excited about. I want to talk to you about some of the mistakes, right? There were some penalties that, of course, you wish you could have back. There were some exchanges with the snaps. You had been doing this for a very long time. How quickly can things like that get cleaned up?
They can get cleaned up really quickly. When you think about playing live football, I mean, they played some preseason action, but when you really go and you have to put a whole game together, you're going to have miscues. You're going to have times where you go out there and the cadence is going to be off, or the snap count is going to, the snap is going to be off. The center and the quarterback exchange is going to be a little different. So that's one of the things that, as a coach, you don't really harp on too heavily. If you continue to see those things happen throughout the course of the season, then it becomes a problem. But if it happens in week one, you know, hey, we can fix that and we can move on to the next thing. But for this team, I didn't see a ton of holes, a ton of issues, other than the fact that we just started out slow. We got to do a much better job of coming out, asserting ourselves, jumping on teams early, and continuing that momentum for 4 quarters.
TD, always appreciate your insight, but don't go anywhere. You are going to take us inside the film room. We are going to talk about what the Panthers defense needs to do against Saquon Barkley next.
So make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, I know Saquon. Obviously I'm a big fan of his game. I love the way he works, and I have a lot of respect for him as well. I think these last 2 years for the both of us have been a little bit rough. So not against us, but I do root for him. Not against us, but he's a hell of a competitor.
We are inside TD's film room for a breakdown on the Giants. TD, Panthers D struggled against the run week 1, and they're going to have another tall task going up against Saquon Barkley and the Giants. He had a huge game on Sunday against the Titans, 164 yards on the ground and a touchdown. How did he do it?
So, KB, we all know that Saquon Barkley is a dynamic player. We know how dynamic he is. We know that he's dealt with injury a lot like our guy has. But at the end of the day, as a defense, you got to do your job. And if you don't do your job, you make a dynamic player job a lot easier. So let's dive into this film, and we're going to talk to you guys, and we're going to show you some of the things that the Tennessee Titans did wrong, and we're going to show you exactly why these plays ended up where they did.
I like where this is going, by the way.
So when you look at this defense, right, we're going to do this. We're going to drop. I'm going to circle the guys that are the issue on this defense right now. And I will say, as a disclaimer, I don't know their defensive scheme, but I do know defense. And I know as a defensive player, there should never be a time on the field that you are running around a blocker. If you are a cornerback, if you are a safety, if you are a linebacker, you are supposed to set the edge. You're the edge of the defense. And I know the NFL put a rule in where cornerbacks are no longer allowed to cut linemen. The NFL teams pay linemen a lot of money. We can't take their legs out. So he has to man up, and I said it, yes, man up. He has to man up and take this block on. So let's let this play out. We're going to clear this out. And as you guys see, watch this play roll. Our cornerback, watch him. Look at the effort on that play. Can we take this back real quick? Take this back real quick. Now, we just got to witness what the cornerback did wrong. This linebacker is waiting too long. The linemen are pulling. He should be going. Now he's going to get sealed inside and get blocked and knocked to the ground. Because this safety trusted both of these guys that they were going to do what they needed to do, that they were going to turn this play back to him, which they did not. He took a bad angle. His angle started out inside. Now he has to redirect. Saquon Barkley is now back to full strength after tearing his ACL, so he's fast again, and he's literally just going to outrun a bad angle. That's one of the things as a defense that we cannot allow to happen. We got to go out. We got to be gap sound. We got to do our job. We have to communicate. Let's show you another play that Saquon had. And we talked about trusting the men that are on the field with you and doing your job. That's what makes a good defense. Communication, trust, and doing your job. So we're going to draw this play up, right? So as we look at it, this guy is responsible for that gap. This guy is responsible for that gap. This guy for that gap. This guy for that gap. He's here already. So as they move, this wide receiver is going to come. He's going to insert. Once he inserts on the safety should fit inside. This man is responsible for the edge. He can't let anything outside of him. Our cornerback is going to come into the screen, and once he comes into the screen, once his receiver inserts, he has to insert. He'll insert right here where the receiver is going to insert and try to block the safety. And this thing should completely be gapped out. As we watch this play and as it rolls, Let's see if all those things that I just showed you guys happen. Let's see why this play ended up in the end zone. You guys saw where guys were supposed to be and where they ended up. As our defense gets ready to take the field, we're going to watch. We need everybody fitting in their particular spots and not trying to do somebody else's job. When you try to do somebody else's job in this league, the running backs, the wide receivers, the quarterbacks, they are too good. They get paid a lot of money to make us look bad defensively. So we can't give them any kind of extra help. The league already take care of the offensive guys. We can't give them any extra help. We got to go out. We got to perform. We got to communicate. We got to line up. We got to execute, and we got to do our jobs. And that's what makes a really good defense.
TD, this was absolutely incredible. I could listen to you break down film all day long. Thank you so much. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in this Sunday as the team heads north to take on those New York Giants that we just watched the film on. Fox has got the TV coverage. You can catch me and the rest of the radio crew on 99.7 The Fox locally. TD, thank you one more time.
Hey, I'm getting hot in here breaking down film.
You were getting a little, I heard the voice was, the voice was loud.
Excited again. So, hey, make sure you guys tune in. Check us out. Keep pounding.
Absolutely. On behalf of all the Huddle crew, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here inside the Panthers Huddle.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.